Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. It is Monday. Normally, we would be starting a new theme, but as per the community post I posted up a couple weeks ago, we're not going to be doing any themes for this week or next. My kid's on holiday break, and I'm going to be doing less work on the channel so I can spend time with my family. We are going to be looking at special selections and creator requests, though, and the latter of which we're going to be checking out today. We got a request from a band called Against the Sun, who we have had on the channel before. It says, "Hey, what's up, man? Thank you again for covering our last single, Undone. It was super exciting to have such a trained ear give their thoughts on it. We just released our latest single before our EP drop on October 28th. Yeah, I'm a little behind on this. And this track is called Leaders. Leaders defies easy categorization with nearly a dozen time signature changes. The seemingly chaotic prog metal composition is anchored by strong melodic vocals and a giant, catchy hard rock chorus. Leaders serves as a caricature of authoritarianism, a critique of those who would rather rule through fear than through democratic means. Thanks for your time and consideration, Brad West from Against the Sun." So we're going to check this out today. We got Against the Sun, Leaders. Let's see what's going on here. It's a really fun four they got going on here. I didn't catch the last time signature though. Love the bass presence. Yeah, very cool ideas going on there. Really cool polyrhythmic stuff. Loving that groove. Oh, I love that little rise up to come back down.
We thank each and every citizen for their continued sacrifice. Despite this progress, there are those among us who wish to sow seeds of discontent. Rest assured we are implementing new security measures to apprehend these radicals and reinstate law and order on our streets. Anyone caught disobeying will immediately be taken into custody for questioning. Let me be clear, these trainers pose an existential threat to the very fabric of our society.
There's a really quiet whisper over on the left side. That was interesting. Love the layered vocals there. Just a very clean, resonant tone on those. So yeah, I get the theming of this, so it needs to be a bit more palatable given the perspective of the singer, the narrator in this story. But I would have loved for some more of those the harshes, somewhere in here, whether it was layered or on their own. I think I really love the way that the two vocal styles bounce off of each other and complement each other, and I think that's really my only criticism is that I really wanted more of the harshes mixed in there. Um, but like I said, coming from the thematic angle, and we'll get into that when we touch the lyrics later, I think it makes sense to keep a lot of this clean and to bring it in primarily at the end to showcase a little bit of the cracking of the mask. But like I said, we'll get into that with the lyrics. So what's going on in this track though? Here's the thing. I really like, well, it follows a pretty typical uh, mainstream style of contrast on our verse and chorus. We have more of an isolated, smaller verse and an explosive chorus where the hook is, and it's just a really big moment. But I love how they go about crafting the smaller section. The verse is really isolated. Um, Most of the time, it's just these rim hits on the snare, getting this really metallic clacking sound in a really cool rhythmic pattern, too. It took me a second to figure out what this rhythm was, what the time signature was. But and we'll get into time signature in a moment because they specifically brought it up in the email, so I paid attention to it, and there's some cool things going on here. But we have this really nice, just clacking, just like a percussive clacking sound, and it's almost like this. I don't know. It's a subtlety to it, right? It's not cross sticking because that has a little bit of the snare punch to it. It's not hi hat work, which is a little more resonant. It's just this very narrow clack. It's an interesting choice, but I absolutely love it. It's unique in the realm of rock to use it, just use it at all, but to use it as a primary component of the song. It's that and our vocals. That's what a lot of the verse is made up of, and I love that. We get a little bit of guitar work at the end of the verses, um, and the bass gets to shine a little as well. Absolutely love that. Anytime that the bass gets prominence in the mix, I'm there for it. So, but we have this isolating, quiet verse that, of course, explodes into our chorus, and our chorus is just this big, meaty hook. It's catchy. The vocal line is it's memorable, and I mentioned there at the end of the chorus, our vocalist holds out, leaders, holds that the syllable out, the ders syllable, and it's just a very clear, resonant tone. It's really great. The rest of the chorus, though, is comprised of what sounds like a series of time signature changes, crafted through rhythmic and textural ideas in our bass and guitars, and rhythmic ideas in the drums. There's not a lot of melody going on here. I know our last chorus had a bit of tapping at the end, but I don't remember if that was there in the previous verses as previous choruses as well. It's really nice texture to add on top and nice counterpoint to run against the vocal melody at the time. I just love when all this comes together. Honestly, the rhythmic, the tapping, the vocal melody, the drumming, just everything comes together. It's this big moment. It's really great. Here's the interesting thing though about the time signature. When the chorus comes in, I do believe we have some odd time signature tomfoolery going around, meter manipulation. I can kind of feel the first two bars in 4/4, but then after that, I think we shift to a 7/4 or something adjacent to that. It's interesting because the first time this section came around, I counted it in 6/8, almost like a waltzy kind of idea, like a double time 3/4. Um, but that was weird because it was like I counted like six, and then I counted not something that was based in six, because that'd be like 12 or 18 would be the next groupings, and it wasn't that. Um, but when I felt it in four, which I think came about the second time, I counted it in that same beat in the section I couldn't grasp, and I think I counted 14 beats. So we go from like 4/4, 4/4, 7/4, 7/4 into the big moment of the chorus, where we enter into a pretty solid 4/4 there with the triplet feel. It's honestly it's fairly possible that they wrote this chorus in 12/8 because it can be felt in 4 and in 3 relatively easily. Um, and I almost like, because there's also that time signature thing in our intro that I never picked up on. I don't remember if we revisited that. It could have been that funky part in the beginning of the chorus as well. I don't know. I don't think we revisited it though, so I don't know what the time signature was there. But it was really interesting how often I could make all of these sections feel in 4/4. It really only is the beginning of the chorus where I have to get outside of that because we have those bars of seven. Um, and so it ends up being a very polyrhythmic song in that most of the bars, most of the time signatures, most of the phrases can be felt both in one time signature and 4/4. Um, Sometimes the 4/4 needs to get pushed a little bit. Yeah, I don't think the music is specifically leaning into it, but there is a groove that fits in the 4/4 time signature that I was able to find. And that just adds another layer to this. You know, the email had stated that they were playing around with a lot of time signatures, and that is true, but polyrhythmic ideas are one step further. Not only are they playing with a linear set of time signatures, but they're playing with a layered set of linearity of changing time signatures. Um, and I can always be down for that because one, it makes it sound more technical, but it doesn't lose that underlying groove, that underlying rhythm. It's really easy to just headbang along with this and not really notice all the intricate elements going on underneath because everything can feel like 4/4. Everything can have that symmetry to it, even if it's not what the main groove is doing. There's some instrument leaning into a 4-beat idea, and I absolutely love that. It bridges the complexity and the accessibility. Where if you just want to listen to it casually, you can, and if you want to dig into it, there's a little bit of meat there. So yeah, I'm on board with this. The chorus is just a really great example of an accessibly complex section that is still catchy. Still has a strong hook to it. Um, we do verse, chorus. We hit our bridge, and our bridge is once again like our verse, a bit muted, a bit isolated, kind of levels out a little bit so that we can have this radio style spoken word section where it feels like the vocalist is directly addressing us rather than singing at us. Um, and we finish this off with a tapping solo and a bit of a heavier section that leads into, if I remember right, a scream that pulls us back into our final chorus. I really like that moment. It takes that underlying tension that we got from the spoken word and elevates it once with the tapping and elevates it again with the heavier melody and then the harsh vocals coming in. It's just this rising tension idea that completely dissipates when we hit the final chorus. I'm not too sold on that. I kind of wish that tension was taken somewhere. It is dispelled. We do get a sort of resolution to it, but I don't really feel like it led into the chorus there at the end. It felt like the decision was, what do we do here? Should we write some more music? Well, most bands end with a chorus, so we'll put our chorus back in there. There is a nice variation to it. We get the harsh layering in a couple of places. I absolutely love that. Oh snap! Where was that section? I mentioned somewhere that um, our vocalist held out this note and did like a little, like a came up a little bit, dropped down a little bit, and like landed back on that original note. Was that going into the bridge? I don't remember. I love that. Just so much control over over the vocals. But yeah, we got the layers here at the end, which was nice. Although it did, like I said, it kind of had a double-edged sword thing. I was like, yeah, some variation here. I was like, oh, we also could have had this elsewhere. I kind of wish we had more of these harshes. But yeah, like I said, overall though, this is a solid track. We have, a catchy chorus. We have, like I said, the mixing of the complexity and the accessibility into a song that honestly works on both levels. We have this great contrast between our verse and chorus. We have a bridge that has a ton of intensity to it. Like it's a great track. But I think it's elevated just a hair with the lyrics. Now, as they had mentioned in the email, this is about wannabe authoritarians. And the music video made it pretty clear it was about the US. The lyrics they're totally on the nose. there is there is no trying to disguise any of this. It is all spoken from the perspective of a would-be authoritarian who is trying to instill fear in the people who believe in him and tells them that he's the only way forward, which ironically, forward is also to stand still. As one of the lines says, everything's all still the same, fight to make sure we're the same now. To make sure, that we don't progress anywhere. Who would ever want to make things better? Um, one of the lines, I think this is a verse here, says, what a dangerous thing to do to offer a new point of view. We're only here to protect you. Why risk change when we give so much comfort in chains? That's a pretty good line, actually. Um, but the idea is that this is supposed to be a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of idea, right? This is an authoritarian who looks down on people who would vote for him, who is trying to sell the idea of fear. This is supposed to be somebody who is charismatic. This is why I don't think the harshes would have worked as well in all of it. As much as I would have loved them from a musical angle, thematically, they're supposed to be this charismatic angle to it, which is why a lot of the vocals are clean. They're a gorgeous vocal delivery. We have these moments of just holding out these notes and playing around with it to almost like instill the idea of like the pop vocalist, right, and all the beauty of their vocal works and stuff like that into this to sell this image of somebody who is clean, clean, perfect, the perfect leader. And so I like how we get the harshes at the end that kind of show the anger and resentment and all the negativity behind this charismatic voice. Great way to go about doing that. Also, I mean, this is just an aside, but did you guys literally waterboard one of your band members for the video? I mean, that was dedication. He did not look comfortable. Some of it's acting. It is a music video. You got to act for the, you got to follow through on the performance. But that did not look like acting to me. That was pretty good. Like I said, dedication, dedication to the craft. Just, geez. All right, those are my thoughts on Against the Sun's leaders. This is where y'all come in. What'd you think of this? Did you enjoy it? Anything you'd like to add on to what I said, or correct me on if I said something that you're like, no, that's totally wrong. I don't even know how you heard that. Put that stuff in the comments. Above that, the description box in there is going to be a link for everything I can find for Against the Sun, streaming platforms, social media links, etc., etc. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you enjoyed the song, head over to their page, like and subscribe to their channel as well. All right, we'll have another creator request coming up in a few minutes. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC as usual. We're going to explore some more music. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm selecting things on a whim. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.